Hello. It is the Love Fearless Action Hour. And I'm here with Christina and Becky. And Beck has a topic for us to mastermind.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically what the masterminding is, but just thinking about mindset triggered the thought that came from a book group this morning. Kelly, you had said something in the last hour about shifting your mindset, the need to shift your mindset in order to, oh, did I change your name on here? I'm sorry. I just saw that. I was like, what? So anyways, not changing the name, changing the mindset. Talking about changing the mindset. Someone had brought that up in Happy Pocket Full of Money book group that I was in, but we were talking about mindset and someone had said, and I wrote it down, that mindset is a survival place. And I was like, interesting. So, we talk a lot and we work a lot on our mindset, and, that's only one piece. So us talking about habits in this last hour, since we're talking about atomic habits, right? We're talking more about the idea of the things that go from our head, right? The way that we think about things and how we let them into our heart to really take root in our life. And then it's really about feeling into the belief or having faith that whatever it is meant for us and that we can do it. And so it is. So that was just something that was coming to me that I remember from this morning. So mindset is a survival place. She said it's like one-dimensional one-dimensional, but thinking about, yes, shifting our mindset, but then it's, anchoring it in our heart and really what it means to us. That's where we give meaning to things, is giving it a place to take root in our life, and then, feeling the faith of that thing happening. So that was just what I was coming up with.
Yeah. It made me think of this exercise we did. I went to this networking meeting, and the speaker there is a mindset coach. And she gave us this exercise to do where we take a thought, and then when we have that thought, what's the feeling? And then when we feel that, what's the action? And then that action brings what result? And so she had us go through she had us go through like certain negative thoughts that we have in different areas of our lives. And then taking those thoughts and what are the feelings and the actions and the results. And then she took us to where you take that same thought, but you add what she calls a bridge sentence. So like putting faith or hope in it, right? So like, if you said, like one of my things was, people don't see my value, and maybe they see my value more than I think they do. So it shifts that negative thought, and gives it the possibility of it being not true. And so, like how we'll say yes, right? Or until today, right? So it's like shifting that thought. And then once you've shifted that thought, how does the feeling shift? And then when the feeling shifts, how does the action shift? And then how do your results shift? And it was really interesting to see what I wrote, what came to mind. Like that may or may not actually happen, but like I was able to see the whole process shift by just adding in that bridge statement. And when I have negative thoughts, I try to shift them, like, Kelly, that's not true, or you're being a little dramatic right now, right? Like lessening the intensity or the power of that negative thought. But this process was a process I hadn't walked through before. And so it was really interesting of how using that bridge sentence of saying, well, I am willing to believe that people can see my value, you know, or whatever it might be. And how then that feeling goes from, you know, depressed to hopeful, or, you know, something like that. And then your actions will change because you're not feeling depressed, you're feeling hopeful. So your action's going to change, and then your results are going to change, right? So it was really interesting of how, you know, a different way of thinking, of shifting your thought process.
I like that. I thought of when you were sharing that, the process was, you know, really exposing possibility for you. And just looking at in a different, and drawing that out in a different way for you to see like the possibility that's there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I love how different coaches put together different tools, because I believe that we can all learn from each other. I mean, we can learn from people who aren't even coaches, but, I really feel like I can learn something from anybody. And, I really went into the exercise of, I'm going to do this exercise. And I felt, and I could hear myself, like in my head, I could hear my voice of fear being like, oh, whatever, you do the same thing, you just do it differently, like blah, blah, blah. Right. But I'm like, no, I'm going to take this opportunity to do this, you know, to, you know, use this strategy, which is different than mine, and see what happens in the process. And so it was really interesting. So it is, you know, being aware of that voice of fear, and, you know, challenging it and saying, you know what, you might be lying. That may not be true. And stuff. So it was really good.
Yeah, that's good. And it could be less true. You know, it could sound really harsh, and it's not as harsh as it really is, you know. Like you said, lessening that.
Yeah.
That's
All right, well,
good.
thank you, ladies.
Yeah.